This video I am going to discuss about white box and black box testing. First we need to understand what is software testing and why software testing is important. So here software testing also helps to identify errors, gaps or missing requirements in application. It can be either done in manually or using automation tools. Why software testing important? It is important because software bugs could be expensive or even dangerous. So we want to produce quality product without any defects or bugs. There are two types of testing, manual testing and automation testing. What is manual testing? User can test the application manually. What is automation testing? It is a man-made software. It acts as an interface between user and application. Now let us see what is white box testing. Testing the logical part of the program. This is called white box testing. This is also known as structural testing, where we check that all the code in our program, whether it is working properly or not. Is there any runtime errors or logical errors? At the same time, we won't check the syntax of the program. Next, white box testing techniques. There are three types of techniques: statement coverage, decision coverage and condition coverage. First of all, what is statement coverage? Whether executes all the statements at least once. Here coverage means identifying the defects in the program. So in this small clip of program, all the statements executed once or not. If not, in the sense may happen logical error or runtime error sometimes. Next, decision coverage. What is decision coverage? Based on the condition, whether the appropriate condition has been executed properly or not. Execute each decision direction at least once. Next, condition coverage. Execute each decision with all possible outcomes at least once. So in this program, here we check all the outcomes, whether it will be true sometimes or false sometimes. Black box testing. Let us now move on to the black box testing. What is black box testing? Testing the functionality of the program. Here, most common black box techniques are equivalence partitioning, boundary value analysis and error guessing. So what is equivalence partitioning? By giving limited inputs, we can able to test that application. For example, login window where username in which edit its limits within a given range. For example, if we take 10 to 15 in 10 to 15 range, would have three equivalence classes. First class less than 10 invalid input, second class between 10 to 15 valid input and third class greater than 15. It's also invalid input. Here we can give all the range of inputs and test the application. So we can execute test cases selectively, not all the test cases. So we can save our time if we use equivalence partitioning. Next, boundary value analysis. What is boundary value analysis? By using some condition, we have to give the inputs. For example, banking application, if we enter any input in one text box, in the sense, for example, 100 to 1000. Here condition is plus or minus 1. So we can give lower limit plus 1 and lower limit minus 1 and upper limit plus 1 and upper limit minus 1. We enter 4 input values and test the application. Next, error guessing. Based on the testing engineer experience, he knows well that the application flow. They can be developed test case and executed the application. Here we have example for black box testing. We have some of the points in registration form related to black box testing. First point, by giving valid inputs, whether this form working properly or not. Next, by giving invalid inputs, test the application whether it is working properly or not. Next, whether this form is compatible or not, which means this form can be tested in different browsers like Firefox, Opera, Safari, IE, Chrome, like that. In different OS also, OS Linux, Apple, Mac, Windows, like that. How it will be working. Next, GUI testing, which means page alignments, spelling mistakes in the labels, and error messages, appearance, font color, links, whether it is working, moving to other forms or not, like that. Still, there are huge number of sequences, only few sequences we discussed here. Next, difference between black box and white box testing. In white box testing, testing engineer must know about internal structure or code of the application. Whereas black box testing engineer does not know anything about internal structure or code. Without coding knowledge or programming knowledge, they will test the application. Thank you.